It's the Braves and the Cubbies. Game one of a three-game series at Wrigley Field. 2:20 Eastern Time, first pitch, 1:20 Central Time up there in Chicago. It's the surging Braves and the struggling Cubs. I'm Jack Gunner, giving you all the pregame notes, getting you ready for game one today between the Bravos and the Cubbies. One of 2 day games across Major League Baseball today. The Phillies and the Nats, first pitch at 1:10. Charlie Morton takes the ball for the Braves today. He's 4-3 with a 5.67 ERA, facing off against Keegan Thompson, who's 6-2 with a 3.67 ERA. We'll get into the pitching matchups in just a little bit, but first, let's highlight the Chicago Cubs. I told you they've been struggling. That might be an understatement. They are 3-11 in the month of June, including a 10-game losing streak to St. Louis, Baltimore, the Yankees, and then most recently getting swept at home by the San Diego Padres. They lost yesterday to the Padres 6-4. Good news, Braves fans. They used 5 relievers after their starter, Matt Swarmer, only went 3 2/3 innings pitched. The team all season has been allowing 5.33 runs per game. That's third worst in Major League Baseball. And in June, it's just gotten way worse. Bullpen ERA over 8 in the month. Starter ERA over 6.5. They gave up 12 and 19 runs in the middle 2 games of the 4-game set with the Padres. Gave up 18 runs in the final game of their recent series versus the New York Yankees. Their starting pitching has not been great. Their bullpen has not been great. Their starting pitching was supposed to be better than it has been, but 3 of their best 4 starters, with Kyle Hendricks, who's healthy, but he's having a down year, are on the injured list. Wade Miley, Marcus Stroman, Drew Smyly, former Braves pitcher. Those are guys that aren't great. I mean, Stroman's pretty good. Wade Miley and Smyly aren't great, but they're not bad. They would be better options than what the Cubs are sending out there right now. The Cubs, hitting-wise, have actually been better, and they're actually like a middle-of-the-pack team when it comes to hitting. 734 team OPS in the month, but all season they've struggled to hit with runners in scoring position. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, they have a batting average of 204, and also they play really bad from behind too. 212 batting average when they play from behind. The Braves are so good when they score first. So if the Braves can score first today, I feel really good about the team's chances. Now on the flip side to the visiting Braves, if you're watching this, you probably know Braves 14-game winning streak. They can tie the franchise record set back in 2000 with a victory today. They're coming off a win on Wednesday, sweeping the Nationals. They've swept now 4 straight series. They won 8-2 versus Washington. It was a pretty close game for a while, but the Braves scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings, which was capped off by an Austin Riley home run. He had 2 homers in the game. Spencer Strider got the start and got the win with 11 strikeouts through 5 2/3. I mean, he looked great. Loved the fastball and the slider. Started incorporating the changeup more the third time through. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the 6th inning, in the 6th inning, as he went back out there with 90 pitches, but it's kind of expected. He's still new to the whole starting thing, still new to having that many pitches. But I thought it was a great start. I'm looking forward to watching him face the Dodgers and the Giants. I think he's supposed to start against both of those teams when the team returns home next week. I'm excited. Because he's been facing a lot of teams that have been struggling a lot. Not to take away from what he's been doing, but I think it'll be interesting to see how he fares against teams that are very good offensively. Some notes about this Braves winning streak: 12 out of the 14 wins have been by 2 runs or more. They're 8-0 on the road after winning just 9 road games in April and May. So they're rolling. Everything's rolling. Offense, if you take their team slash line and if you were to apply to an individual, they're hitting like a Hall of Fame player right now. 292 batting average, 925 team OPS, 570 slugging, 7.2 runs per game. I know I'm just spitting out numbers, but I mean, they're breathtaking. And then a 2.72 ERA in 129 innings as a pitching staff, including a bullpen ERA of 1.34. I mean, they've been nails in the bullpen, especially in the back half. But it's just been a team effort, offensively, defensively, and if you want to dive more into offensively, it's been 1 through 9. The Braves' 8 and 9 hitters have been fantastic, whether it's Contreras, Duvall, Arcia, and then Harris in the 9 spot. Dansby was great in the 9 spot at the beginning of the season. They are giving opportunities for Ronald and Dansby in the 1 and 2 to get things done and to drive runners in and to have at-bats with runners in scoring position. That's been a winning formula for Atlanta. 274 batting average out of the 8 spot this year for Atlanta, 256 out of the 9 spot. which is kind of deflated a little bit because Travis Demerit went 4 for 28, and Travis Demerit is no longer with the major league team. Now let's get a little scouting report on the Cubs pitcher, Keegan Thompson. Like I mentioned before, he is 6-2 with a 3.67 ERA. He was the Cubs' long guy until May 11th. A lot of long relief appearances, but due to some injuries in that starting rotation that I mentioned before, he is getting the start today. He's lost his last 2 starts to Baltimore and New York. His last start versus New York was not good. 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs, 3 walks. He's made 3 starts in June and has a 13 ERA with 7 walks in 9 innings. But he was really good as a reliever, so it made sense why they wanted to maybe get him some starting time. 3-0 with a 1.38 as a reliever. His home and road splits are just crazy. Much better at home. He's got 1.8 ERA at home, 6.63 ERA on the road, but not a lot of sample size there because he's made more starts on the road. So you can't really say that he's just much better at home in the starting capacity. He pitched once against the Braves earlier this year, 3 innings, 1 run. He's not going to beat you with his fastball, low 90s fastball, but he's got a good slider and good curveball. He's known for being able to throw strikes, but he's not been able to throw strikes very well as a starter. On the flip side, Charlie Morton probably had his best start of the year, and I hesitate saying that because it's a little complicated. He gave up 4 runs in 6 innings versus the Pirates, and when you're looking at that, you're like, meh. But he gave up 2 solo home runs in the first inning and bounced back really nicely. He had 12 strikeouts and got a season-high 20 swings and misses. And his start before versus Colorado, he got 16 swings and misses. He's had 20 strikeouts combined his last 2 starts. So that is encouraging. Big thing about Charlie Morton is swings and misses. He's got good stuff. We didn't see that for a while, but we've been seeing that in the last 2 starts, so that is really encouraging. He's given up a home run in each of his last 5 starts, including 2 in his last start, both of them in the first inning for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I think the key today for Charlie is to keep the ball in the ballpark, because when he's been getting hurt, it's because he's giving up home runs and continue to get the swings and misses. I think if he continues to get more swings and misses, we should see that ERA start to come down and the starts start to get better. Because if he's just keeping missing bats, I feel like eventually the home run number is going to come down. Let's take a look at our starting lines before we wrap things up. That's why I was grabbing the phone. For the visiting Braves, Acuna, Swanson, Riley, Olson, d'Arnaud getting the catching spot tonight, Ozuna and Duvall, and then Arcia and Harris rounding out the lineup. So we got Acuna, Swanson, Riley, Olson, d'Arnaud, Ozuna, Duvall, Arcia, and Harris. And then for the Cubs, Chris Morel leading off in center, Contreras getting the DH today, Wisdom, Happ, Schwindel, Nico Horner, Yan Gomes behind the plate, Old Brave Jason Hayward, and then Old Brave 2, Andrelton Simmons. That'll be kind of interesting. 2 former Braves, Hayward and Simmons, in the 8 and the 9 spot. Simmons is at second base, though, with Nico Horner at shortstop. For the Cubs, Christopher Morel in the leadoff spot, Contreras at 2, and then Ian Happ in the cleanup spot, the 3 hitters to keep your eyes on. Those are really talented guys. The rest of them have been pretty league average. I'm looking at Orlando Arcia today. Before we wrap things up, looking at Arcia today. He's gotten on base 7 times in the last 2 games. He's hot, and he's played the Cubs, and he's played at Wrigley a lot as a former player for the Brewers. Started a lot of games as shortstop for them. Adam Duvall, another guy that played at the Central for a while for the Cubs. 7 bombs and a 900 OPS in 28 games played at Wrigley Field. Marcell Ozuna also heating up too. 6 for 19. Last 5 games with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. The Braves need a good start from Charlie Morton today. I love the Braves' chances of hitting some home runs. They don't call it the friendly confines for nothing. Keegan Thompson's struggling. The Braves are hot. Something's got to give here. The Braves are 14-game winning streak. Cubs are on a 10-game losing streak. We'll see if those paths continue or if they stop in their tracks. For the Braves, let's hope it's a sweep. I'm Jack Hunter, and thank you for watching today's video.